Okay, so it says prove the equation has either 1 or 3 roots between -1 and -2. So what we're going to do is we're really looking for negative roots. So I'm going to rotate the curve and then do the square rule of signs to figure out what's going on here. So it's minus, plus, minus, plus. One change here, one change here, one change here. So S equals 3. Now what do? We know that S minus P must be a non-negative even integer. So what could P be? Well, P could be 1, right? Because if a 3 minus 1 is 2, that's certainly a positive even integer. And it could be 3. I should say non-negative. P is 3. All right, so what am I going to do now? Basically sign analysis. And looking at it, let me get my eraser out. And no, I don't need to get the eraser out. I'm just going to look at the analysis of it now. Okay, I want to point out this is F. And I know the general shape of the curve. But I'm only looking in the negative direction now. So at 0, it's definitely positive. All right? And then what I'm kind of looking at is, what's happening as I start to move down. Now, by the way, I know the curve at some point is going to be moving down. I know that much. And over here it's moving up. But I'm not concerned about that. What I'm concerned about, what happens at -1 now? By the way, it has to cross at least one time now. All right, so let's take a look at this. And I'm going to just put the -1 down for you, just to kind of convince you that something happens over here. So at -1, the function is going to equal what? -1 plus 2 minus 5 plus 5. It's clearly positive, all right? Oh, I know that much. Oops, over here. My eraser out. Now I'm going to go to -2. And let me get my eraser out. I'll erase this now. And I'll talk about what happens at -2. So at -2, and we're using the intermediate value theorem, by the way, what do you get? -8 plus 8 minus 10 plus 5. Clearly negative. So I know it's negative over here. Now what do I know? By the intermediate value theorem, I know it has to cross. But the bottom line is, it could go back up, back down, something like that. So it could go through 3 times. It's possible. All right? So what I'm going to do over here is I'm going to erase. I know it goes through, right? Erase this over here. I'm even going to erase this thing over here. So I know the P equals 1 is fine. But now I'm kind of curious about, what happens after the -2? All right? I'm going to cut to the chase over here. And I'm just going to, I'm not going to put the arithmetic down for you. Negative. And, what I'm seeing is I'm definitely seeing that it's definitely negative there. Now, I'm going to look for a lower bound to the root, though, now. I'm going to look for a lower bound. And I'm going to write this over here. Whoops. Kind of curious about this. X squared plus 2x plus 5 plus 5. All right, kind of looking at it. I think it might be easier to analyze this way. And I guess I should be looking at it, right? So if you chose -2, I know we did that before, but I'm going to do that again for you. That's going to be 5 plus 5. It's definitely negative, all right? F of -3, well, you get -3, right? What do you get next? Well, you get 9 plus minus 6 is 3, 8. So now I'm hoping that you're convinced that no matter how far I go in that direction over here, it's always going to be below the x-axis here. So what do I know about this thing over here? If there is a root, it's got to be between minus 2 and minus 1. But it's always going to be negative over here. I know that it has to go through this. I know that. And then the bottom line is, after that, it's up there in the y-intercept and then sails off like this. And why is that sailing off like that? Look at it. It's always going to be positive after the 0. Right? So by what I know about polynomials, degree 3 polynomials here, the number of roots there has to be either 1 or 3. So what do they want to do? Yeah, we got it. 1 or 3. Again, after the minus 1, at minus 1, 4 is always going to be positive. Below the minus 2, it's always going to be negative. I want to see if they provided a picture. I probably did a lot more work than I needed to, but let's look at the picture. It's right over here. By the way, it only has 1 root. All right? Only 1 root there. Thank you.